Oscar, there's been some very interesting dynamics with the VLJ and light commercial element in North America. But the Latin American market has to be something altogether different. Can you talk about first the similarities and then the differences these markets are currently entertaining?
Absolutely. The impact of the U.S. dynamics in Latin America are obvious to everyone. However, the implications are not as severe as they are in the U.S., for instance, for manufacturers or operators. Latin America has a lot in common with what's happening in emerging markets such as India and China. Therefore, they have leapfrogged some of the problems and hassles that we see in the U.S. There is more opportunity at a smaller scale. However, some of the challenges, inherent challenges in the U.S. remain. For instance, the oil price is a common factor.
We have found through the interfacing that we've had with a number of people around the world that the market, the Latin American market, is virtually, the only word is untapped. There's just so much happening out there, and I don't think folks doing business in North America really understand, or for that matter, truly estimate the power of the Latin American market.
Absolutely. The infrastructure in Latin America can benefit tremendously from the use of private aircraft. We see that in Brazil, we see that in Mexico, and all the other countries are growing rapidly. What these aircraft are bringing, the very light jet aircraft, is a very, very cost-effective alternative to deploying very heavy infrastructure. With these planes now you can bridge gaps that before would take tremendous freeway systems or waterway systems or railroads, where business now can be done at a fraction of the cost. That is the very, very good opportunity we see in Latin America.
One of the main issues in moving airplanes in North America has always been the concept of service and support. What kind of issue is that in the Latin American market?
The Latin American infrastructure for aircraft is there, is present. It's not as developed as Europe or North America, but the fundamentals of maintenance, fuel, and basic runways, if you will, exist. First-class manufacturers have been there for years, and now we can basically piggyback on those developments with the advent of the very light jet.
You've heard of this thing called WAAS, right? The Wide Area Augmentation System lets you fly GPS glide path approaches without relying on ground-based landing aids. No VOR, no ILS, no problem. Fact is, WAAS is so smart, it even knows what you're going to say next time you need it. And don't have it on board. Wah, wah, I want my WAAS now! I was really crying there for a second.
Talk to me about the conference coming up in Miami, November 10th and 11th.
The VLJ Latin America Caribbean Conference is its second edition of what we expect to be a series of conferences to empower and enable the very light jet and air taxi developments in Latin America. We have 2 days of conference where we are going to build up on some initiatives we built last year, such as the Open Skies financing and pilot cooperatives, and we'll build on new ones, most likely around the oil situation and how to minimize the impact. The conference will address through a workshop the financing issue of aircraft in Latin America with the Cape Town Convention. With some tools that exist today, I'm very confident, and the market shows that the financing of aircraft at the very light jet level is very successful and is supposed to grow at the fastest rate than any other developing geography.
Networking and the concept of communication and building a bond and building bridges between those with like interests has been critical. For the Latin American market, we understand you have a solution.
That's part of what we are discussing at the conference. On our second edition, we are going to take on some of those issues that we discussed last year and take them to the next level. The main challenges we have to enable that are open skies. Europe and North America enjoy an open structure of the skies. Therefore, flight planning for a private jet from point A to point B is not an issue. That's our main challenge in Latin America, to be able to seamlessly fly private jets from point A to point B. The other challenge we have is financing these aircraft, residual values, and the local banking communities to understand the use of these aircraft as tools.
Cirrus Design's Vision SJ50 single-engine personal jet offers exceptional fuel efficiency, flexible seating for up to 7, advanced avionics, and all the Cirrus safety features you expect, including the Cirrus airframe parachute system. With its detailed design, the Cirrus Vision is technologically advanced, yet engineered to be simple to fly, to allow owner pilots more lifestyle pursuits than any other personal aircraft. Learn more about the Vision SJ50 at cirrusdesign.com.
What kind of feedback have you gotten from the first conference, and who would you recommend be the folks that should be looking at the second conference?
Well, we had the first conference in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro, and we had a tremendous support from the Association of Brazilian Business Aircraft, ABAG, as well as their development and research department, SEPTA. We had about 70% Brazil and 30% the rest of the region. In Miami, we are going to have the same Brazilian presence, but now we are going to expand into a Latin American, a real Latin American mix from Chile to Mexico. So the people this year will be the Brazilian supporters we had last year, plus a wide array of other countries. I expect it to be a truly a multinational representation. It should be very interesting.
How much of the current economic situation, first here in North America, now worldwide apparently as of this morning's markets, how do you expect that to cast a pall, if any, on the Latin American aviation markets?
Very interesting question. I've been doing some research on that, as you can imagine, for the last month. Latin America has not suffered as much as we have in the U.S. because the real estate, the development banking system is not as developed. So in a way that has been a blessing. Therefore, the banking system and the risks capital in Latin America are more intact than one would think. The situation is obviously critical, but it's more critical due to oil costs than due to the financial markets. The financial markets in Latin America are robust.
Well, Aero-News will be a media partner for that event. We look forward to covering the event in Miami, November 10th and 11th, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Fantastic, Jim. I look forward to seeing you, and I invite everyone to attend. This should be a crossroads, critical conference for the VLJ industry.
Indeed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jim.